Hell of a summer, more like hell of a letdown. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another Horror Guru review. Today we will be reviewing the new movie Hell of a Summer. Now this was one, let me just say first and foremost, I was so excited to see this movie before it got announced. I saw some of the trailers. It looked really good, kind of funny, got that horror slasher comedy to it, and it was just something that I was really looking forward to. So leaning into that is how I started this. Now I'm just going to give a straight up review, no spoilers. So anyways, like I said, it's Hell of a Summer. It's an hour and 28 minutes. So within the parameter that I look for, between an hour and 30, hour and 45 minutes max for a horror slasher. That's good. That's fine. Rated R. So you got the R rating. Didn't necessarily need it, I feel like, in the movie. I feel like there was so much that they did not do that it could have been dimmed down to a PG-13. I feel like the R was a little bit misleading, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. So the movie was written by Finn Wolfhard and Billy Reich. Finn, you would know from Stranger Things. He plays Mike Wheeler. They're both in the movie, though. Finn plays Chris. Billy plays Bobby. And so pretty much the idea of the movie is there's summer camps about to happen, and all these people are coming just like any kind of slasher style camp movie. In the beginning, you know, everyone's coming in on their cars, everyone's kind of meeting with one another, and all of these people kind of know one another because they've gone to this camp before in previous years. Some as regular people, some as counselors. So anyways, so they're all coming in, getting to know one another, again, seeing how they've, you know, grown and evolved since the last time they've seen each other. And one thing about this movie is they really do lean into the Gen Z aspect of it. You know, of course, it is a counselor movie, so that would be younger kids. So they really move into that aspect of it. So, you know, the first bit of the movie is just them kind of getting to know one another and everything. And just kind of those tropes of, you know, this person likes this person likes this person, this person's a little awkward. Just kind of feeling out the how the story's going to go. Storytelling, building of the characters. So, the main star in this is Jason, played by Fred Hitchinger, and he is the kind of outcast of the group because he's the one that's a little bit older. He's 24 years old, which, I mean, it's not really too old, but it's also, you know, not young when you got counselors there that they didn't state the ages, but, you know, you're probably looking at between 18 to 20 years old. 24 is getting a little bit up there. So you got him who can't really fit in with the crowd, and, you know, throughout the movie he's trying to relate to them. So there's that aspect of it, and sometimes I feel like they go a little too far with that, because at the same time, yes, he's older than them, he's still only 24. Can't be that big of an age gap where you can't figure out how to relate to people 5, 6, 7 years younger than you. So anyways, that's this breakdown of the story itself. And then of course you have a killer that is killing the counselors for a certain reason, which I will not spoil because this is a non-spoiler review. So I'm going to give you the pros first, because there's honestly very little pros for this movie. The first one was the cast. I'm going to be honest, I didn't think the cast was bad. There are some of these movies where you look at, it's like either overacting or it's just intolerable. Like, a lot of the people you just can't stand. I didn't have that issue with the cast this time. I thought that the cast was pretty well balanced. You know, you had your normal campy slasher trope of people, but for the most part, it didn't scream like I want to turn the movie off or I want to walk out of the theater. And then the other good thing, because I had two pros in this whole thing. Second thing was the kills. The couple kills that we got on screen. The first 5 minutes started out really, really good. I was excited for this film. I thought, okay, this is what I was thinking it was going to be, and this is the direction we're going. So with that being said, I was very entertained by the first, like, 3 to 5 minutes. And then there was another kill later on in the movie that I thought was very good, but you could tell it was kind of just like the 1 or 2 kills of the movie. So those were my pros. The cons. Now here we go. Here come the cons. And again, I came into this with an open mind, really looking forward to this movie. So the first thing I got was false advertising. I feel like this is not a horror movie. It's more of like a comedy, coming of ages, and very, very little do they focus on the horror aspect. Even, you know, as much as, like I said, the false advertising, where 80-90% of the movie, it's, you know, certain groups, you know, getting to know one another and connecting with one another in a romantic kind of way, I feel like. Like 70% of the movie, I feel like. You look at the trailers, you look at the commercials, you look at the posters, this really comes off like it's going to be a bloody movie, bloody slasher, camper, counselor, Jason-esque movie. So, and that's just not what you get. You don't get that at all in this. I'm going to be completely honest with you. It's not. It's just not that kind of film. The second thing I got was the almost zero gore candy at all. Like I said, there was like none, almost. You have 1-2 kills that are like, wow, that was really good. But for the most part, a lot of the kills were done off screen. So it's, you know, more interpretation. You know, the shadows, watching something happen on this angle, but you don't get to see it. And then you see the final result, which sometimes you don't even see that. And it's like, to me, as someone that grew up in an 80s style slasher genre, I love that stuff. I love the gore candy, and I love the different unique kills that we get. And that was something we did not get in this one. So that was very, very disappointing. I would have even been okay with if, like, hey, they were on screen, but a lot of them were not even on screen style kills. So it just really, really took away from the movie for me in that aspect. And, you know, coming from, I've been doing a lot of these lately. I think this is the 4th movie I've seen in the last 2 weeks in theaters. So to go from my last movie I just saw being Screamboat with Steamboat Willie, who had the like the best kills that I've seen so far of the year, to this, it was just such a downgrade and letdown. So that's the second thing. The third thing I would have to say is the killer was predictable. I like to be in a little bit of suspense, and it just really didn't hit it for me. Like within the first 15 minutes, I was like, that's the person, that's the killer. And I was, you know, sadly right. There was something that they could have done later on in the film where it was kind of a twist, but they chose not to do that. I think it would have kind of bumped it up a little bit more for me to be excited, but ultimately they didn't go that route, and I was able to predict the killer. And as well as that, being able to predict the killer, I think that the reveal was really, really, really poorly done. Like I said, this doesn't feel like a horror movie at all, and they really focused in on that by, you know, not even like a suspenseful reveal. It was a very, hey, one scene, who's the killer? The next, oh, okay, that's the killer. They're revealing themselves. So very disappointing in that. I wish I could say better things. And then the last thing, and this is a big thing for me. You know, I'm a fan of slashers, so I like to see the kills as they're coming. And the thing is, I got lack of kills. So the amount of survivors in this is just way too many. Way too many amount of survivors. This is again a movie that was kind of being promoted as a horror kind of slasher counselor, camp counselor type movie, and we didn't get that. Like, we didn't get that. And the amount of survivors in this is just astronomical, and I'm not a fan of that, and I disagree. I like the idea of, you know, just even having a final girl, or maybe a final couple or something, you know, 1 or 2 tops. This one, you have way too many people. So that's kind of like, you know, how I feel. So anyways, that's the review that I've come up with in this. If you want to go see it, you know, at least check it out one time. Oh, there's no post-credit scene, no matter, even though I looked it up on Google before I left the theater. Google said there was, but I stayed till the credits ended and there was no post-credit scene. So if you're waiting to stay for that, you know, you don't gotta. Overall, I gave this a 1 out of 5 star. It's the worst movie I've seen of the year so far for me. Worst movie. And I just got done seeing Woman in the Yard, Death of a Unicorn, Screamboat, and now this one in theaters. That's not even saying all the ones that I've seen on demand. So this has got to be the worst movie that I've seen so far this year. See it at your own, you know, caution. But anyways, that's my review, guys. Give me a subscription. Hope you like this one. Check out some of the other ones. Let me know in the comments if you want to see any more, which ones you want to see. We're really trying to build this page up. So anyways, guys, hopefully you're having a good night. Peace.